having a beer was sort of a rite of passage. Like I left home at 17 and went away jackarooing and started living an adult life fairly young. And I'd been, drinking socially at parties and stuff, prior to that. But when I got, away from home and looked at all these blokes I was, playing footy with and working on farms with, that's who I wanted to be. They were hard-working Aussie men, and that's how they celebrated. They would mourn stuff with beer. That's, everything was done with beer. If you play footy, you have a beer afterwards. If you went away fishing, you'd probably have the esky packed with grog before you worry about getting bait. All the usual Australian stuff that I thought was fun, everything involved beer. It's a pretty staple part of rural Australia. I never questioned it. I just thought doing everything with alcohol was normal. I couldn't put a line in the sand as to when, I started having a drink most days. There was no real early warning signs that I was not drinking normally. I could go out into the world, to work and sport and socially and present as a, pretty balanced, kind, good person. But the bloke I saw in the mirror when I got home, I really didn't like. I felt like a failure. In a lot of aspects of my life, I felt like I was letting my wife and my children down. The cumulative effect of using alcohol to medicate, I sort of refer to it like painting over rust. I'd get these little rust spots and I'd be running a bit rough, physically and probably more mentally. There was a slight anxiety, and I didn't know it was anxiety. It was like, I just feel a bit off. I feel like I need a drink. But it reached a point where it didn't fix anything. In fact, alcohol became the problem. I needed help to stop safely. And there was a lot of shame involved in that. But as soon as I got through that little period, I started to get well really quickly. I don't really look back now. Not with any regret. I look back with gratitude that I did survive. I can look at myself in the mirror. I can look at my kids. I can look at anyone I meet in life and know that I'm okay. I first saw the Sober in the Country message on some hats at a business I was working at the time. I opened their website and I saw a whole heap of people just like me. Not only hearing their stories about where they were, but seeing, people that had years or decades of time without a drink and how much their lives had improved without it. That just gave me hope. And I felt like I had a direction because that's where I wanted to go. I'm really proud to be able to represent Sober in the Country in any fashion, whether it's just wearing a hat down the street. It's such a strong, powerful message, and it's really nice when people come up to you, at different functions or down the street and say, "Hey mate, I saw your hat." And the work that Sober in the Country are doing it's bloody good. It's helped someone I know, or there should be more of it. I guess the reason I'm here talking about my story is I hope there's a bloke out there that sees it and can say, oh, maybe you can actually have a pretty good life without alcohol. Because at that point, I hadn't seen anyone. I didn't know anyone. It's not an easy thing to do, but one person that chooses to not drink in the bush might just save someone else's life.